For the Motherland is the second expansion of Paradox Interactive's World War II grand strategy game, Hearts of Iron 3. This expansion is going to focus in on making the game feel more historical and add more flavour to give you a deeper World War II experience. For the Motherland is obviously a reference to the Soviet Union and the Eastern Front. One of the parts of the game that's, should we say, not done as well as it could be done is the partisan warfare that was seen a lot on the Eastern Front. So one of the things we're going to add into For the Motherland is a new partisan warfare system where you build your own partisan units, parachute them behind enemy lines and move them around to sabotage supply lines and things like this. This adds a new dimension to warfare on the Eastern Front, making the Soviet Union more historical to play, but also adds fun to the governments in exile, where once France falls, you can start building up the French resistance in preparation to assisting the liberation of France. One of the things our fans have always asked for is multi-core support. So now we're going to multi-thread the AI in For the Motherland. Now, I know everyone will love exact performance numbers of how much faster the game's going to go, but while we're also going to make the AI run faster, we're also going to look at improving the AI and adding more functionality to it. So some of the improvements, I'm afraid, are going to end up being eaten up by giving you a better AI. So what we're going to promise you is a faster game, well, at least a bit faster game, and a better AI. For diplomacy and politics, we've added two important features. The first one is the ability for you to finance or push for a coup of another government. This captures things like the anti-Nazi coup in Belgrade that the British sponsored in early 1941. And we will now be able to do the same thing in For the Motherland. For diplomacy, in Hearts of Iron 3 we have a triangle which shows you how you feel towards the three great factions of the era. And it captures a lot of things very nicely. Where the problems with the system begin is countries like Finland, who are also democracies, also quite like the Allies, but want to recover lost Finnish territory from the Soviet Union. And under our current system we can't quite get the dynamic of Finland properly. So now we're going to add a new system of war goals, which we're going to lift from Victoria. And Finland, at any time, regardless of what it thinks about the Axis, can go to Germany and say, I want to recover Karelia from the Soviet Union. And if Germany says yes, Finland will move into the Axis camp and be ready to join the war, but won't until Germany attacks the Soviet Union. And making diplomacy more historical. Countries that wanted to recover territory will naturally join the Axis and fight to restore their national honour. The theatre system in Hearts of Iron 3 is one of these features that people really love. This ability to, hand control over a part of the war to the AI, allowing you to focus in on what's important to you. But obviously, with anything, we always seek to improve. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new theatre interface, which is going to provide you with long-term strategic requirements that you want, allowing you to plan your building better to get more out of your theatres. We're going to add an additional theatre, your strategic reserve, where you can, like, when you build divisions, you can just put them into that theatre and they'll be ready. So when a theatre says, I need 5 new infantry divisions, you can just press a button and they'll be withdrawn from the strategic reserve and given to the theatre straight away. This will make the theatres easier to use, make the information you get from them more useful, and will also allow you to have more confidence in using these theatres because they should perform a lot better. One of the fun things about being a game designer is you can pick features that matter to you and very personal, and maybe not huge in the grand scheme of things. And one of the features is the undeclared war. My grandfather served in World War II on destroyers and was actually on the Arctic convoys and the Atlantic convoys for a large period of the war. By middle of 1941, Britain had lost a lot of naval units, and at the same time Japan was starting to get frisky in the Pacific, so Britain needed to withdraw fleet units to the Far East, as well as fight convoys and fight Italy. So the Royal Navy was seriously overstretched. Roosevelt decided that this would not do and launched what became known as the Undeclared War. From the middle of 1941, the United States fleet began to fight World War II. The first US combat casualties of World War II were in September 1941, when a US destroyer was torpedoed by a German U-boat. And it's one of these nice little features that, with my grandfather being there, US participation may well have actually saved his life. So I thought, I want this in. So step one is we're going to remodel the resource system to remove resources from Britain and give them to America. So now the convoys will now run from America to Britain, moving the U-boat war to the North Atlantic, where in all the incarnations of Hearts of Iron so far, we just couldn't quite get it there. Then we're going to put the US with deep in debt as a legacy of the Great Depression. So it will want to sell resources to Britain to pay for its own mobilisation. And this way we'll create the North Atlantic Convoy War. And then we're going to add special decisions to the US, which will allow it to move its fleet units and air units into the Atlantic Ocean and begin to fight Germany, even though it's not yet at war.